Welcome to 7 Rivers Sports here on KQEG. I'm your coach, Terry Erickson. Each week an inside look into sports, wellness, and into fitness. Well, this is a great week because we have two of the best from Luther High School student athletes, Loersch and Lydon Byus. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Just off, we were in basketball last Friday night. We taped the show here on September 30th. And so you're fresh off a win over basketball, 43-0, a game we covered. What a great way to start the season. You held basketball to 46 yards on the ground, 0 yards passing, because they never threw a pass, by the way. So, I mean, it was a great way for you to start. Lydon, you were our player of the game. 3 catches, 71 yards, a touchdown, and 53 yards after your catch. You know the best friend of a quarterback is a receiver that can get yards after a catch. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you also know that you were our player of the game?
Oh, they really?
You were?
No, I didn't
What's
know
your thought on that?
I don't know. I mean, it's not just me out there. It's the whole team, so it's not really just one player. It's just all of us trying to get the win.
Good way to put it. Because you're talking about, I think, one of the better offensive linemen and defensive linemen in the area, and it happens to be Loersch sitting next to you. We were extremely impressed with the way you played too, Isaiah. How did you feel after the game?
You know, that's a great feeling, especially after all these years of maybe not getting those big wins that you want, when you know that as a team, especially as a unit on the line, you put in a good effort and you got results. So,
I mean, so somebody asked me just this weekend, hey Terry, I see you broadcast the Luther game. How good are they? It's like, good. I mean, really good. Are they really? Yes, they are very good. I like their wide open offense, taking advantage of your skill set, your players that can do things in space. I like your defense, your schemes, and your size of your defense. It was impressive. Coaches doing a good job, aren't they? Yeah. Thoughts on that?
They're doing a great job, especially changing up the offense and everything. Just kind of give us a new look on the offensive side of the ball. Just kind of a nice change from last year and just kind of keeping it fresh.
What goes through your mind, Isaiah, when you break the huddle, you go to that line knowing that you are a key factor in the success of a play on offense, and you're also a key factor on defense by putting pressure on the quarterback, gap integrity, meaning that you're responsible for the gaps, you're responsible for getting off a block and disturbing the offense. Give us your view of what you think about on offense, and then when you get to the other side of the ball.
Sure. Well, first of all, you're making sure that all your other people on the line know their responsibilities, what they're doing. You get up to the line, you make your reads, just do your job. And then making the switch to defense, you know, you got to really, it's a mindset change certainly, but, you know, you just go hard every play and works itself out.
Speaking of mindset, a lot of people that you both have gifts, and you know that. But a lot of people that have gifts like you do, size, skill set, they don't really reach their potential because mentally they're not ready. They're not tough. They struggle. They self-destruct. How do you prepare mentally for competition? A lot of our young viewers are interested in this. Lydon?
Just going out with the mindset that you're the best player on the field and that the guy across from you got to dominate him every single play all game.
And so before the game, are you doing some meditation? Are you doing some praying? Are you doing some like getting your mind ready for competition?
Definitely prayer is a big part. I pray before every game just to help God help me prepare myself and get myself ready for the game and to use my gifts to the best of their ability during the game.
There's a quote that somebody had a few years ago, an Olympic athlete, and it said, to sacrifice the gift is the worst thing that could happen to you. To sacrifice the gift that you are given and not showcasing that talent is a waste, is a complete waste. Would you agree with that, Isaiah?
I think that you really want to use your God-given talents and abilities to the best of your ability, because it's showing that you are appreciative and you're glorifying God by what you do.
You live by that.
Yes.
Last night, as we taped the show here on September 30th, again, our guests from Luther High School, Isaiah Loersch and Lydon Byus, last night was a presidential debate, a disaster in a lot of people's eyes because of how they interacted. And all these things that are going on in the world, the pandemic, which has created havoc in your lives, the recession, the mental health wellness issues with people, isolation. You abruptly ended your junior year in March and didn't even get to compete. Your season now started late and not a complete season. So all these things, a lot of people can't handle that. Lyndon, how are you handling all those things?
Just going to God with it, praying with it, giving it to Him and everything just in His hands, and just letting myself and everyone around me know that He has it, and no matter what happens, it's in our best interest with Him.
So you're that strong that you can see a silver lining, that you can rely on your spirituality.
Yes.
Not everybody can do that. What are you that strong too, Isaiah? That because the pandemic has affected so many people's lives, over 200,000 dead in this country, and all the disruptions to your life. How are you handling that, Isaiah?
You know, there's certainly challenges, but you just have to be extremely thankful of what you do have. Comes back to, you know, family. Being able to be in school is such a blessing right now, playing football as well. So I'm thankful that I have these opportunities still.
There's something special about Luther, and I've always seen that as a fan, as a player, years and years ago, as an official, as a broadcaster. And I think the visibility of Luther has been elevated recently, mainly because of your father, too, Lydon, John Byus, who has taken Luther to another level, and people recognize how special it is. How special is it, Lydon?
Luther? It's very special. We're one of the only schools who's actually in school right now, so it gives us that more like in person with like homework and stuff like that. So it's a lot. We're just grateful to have that and to be there, not stuck at home and doing nothing.
The culture of Luther. There's a lot of good schools, by the way, so it's not certainly just Luther, but the culture is based on Christian leadership, spiritual growth, and so on. Planting those seeds so that you can utilize them through your entire life. When I watch you compete, Isaiah, how do you display those Christian values?
Sportsmanship certainly is up there, you know, making sure that you're letting your light shine when you're playing, and that other people know that you're a Christian. So, you know, you're not saying bad words, not talking smack or any of that. You know, you just let your play speak for itself.
Well said. I see that as an official too. I see that among the coaches and the staff. That's why I say it's unique. Certainly you get upset with opponents, you get upset with coaches, you get upset with teammates. But you keep that inside of you, Lydon?
Well, it's a difficult kind of... I am a more emotional player. I like to kind of let everything, not everything come out, but I let it come out throughout my actions on the field and like how I play. But most of the things you keep it in just so that you don't get in trouble on the back end and nothing bad happens.
Being an athlete comes with expectations. You know that. High expectations. Other people throughout the community are watching you. Young people that one day want to be a knight at Luther are watching you. You're on a platform. Not easy for everybody. Some make bad decisions. And that doesn't mean they're bad people, but they make bad decisions. When you see that kind of thing maybe on the horizon as a leader, how do you handle that, Isaiah?
Well, you know, going back to talking about younger knights, I was in that position when I was younger. You know, I've been in Luther my entire life, and then now I see my younger cousins, 5 and 7, you know, they're looking up to me. You know, you really need to keep your focus on what's important when you're thinking about a decision and making sure that you're a good role model for other people.
And you are. You think about that all the time?
Sure.
You think about that, Lyndon, when you're out there? I can see it. Well, we're going to step aside just for 1 minute and for a break, and when we come back more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. This week, the profile is on Luther High School football. Student athletes Isaiah Loersch and Lydon Byus. I had a chance to talk to Matt Schiebel, your head coach, prior to this week's interview, and here's what he said. Lydon and Isaiah are 2 of the strongest leaders we have had over the 5 years that I've been the head coach. Both of them are dedicated not just to their roles and responsibility, but leaders in the school. The teammates, as well as all of us, received the highest honor and votes for captain. Couldn't be happier for what they have done. Does that describe you adequately, Isaiah?
Well, I definitely think that team leadership is very important to me, as it is to Lydon. Making sure that people are staying positive and not getting down on each other is really a big deal to me.
And the same, it's applicable, those nice comments are applicable to Lydon also. And you didn't know that I was going to read that. You didn't know that he had even sent me a quote.
No, I didn't.
So what's your thought now?
Well, I take pride in leading by my actions and showing the other guys around me, like, this is how you do it, and like, this is how your intensity should be, and like, just give it everything. And that's how I like to lead, and not as much verbally, more as just look at how I do it, and that's how I'm always going to do it with the intensity I have.
Not everybody lives up to the leadership qualities that you have. Not everybody does. On your team or any team. So let's say you have, as a captain, as a leader, you have somebody on your team that's maybe not playing at their potential. For whatever, maybe they have, you know, some personal struggles or whatever happens. How do you handle that, Isaiah?
Well, sometimes you just have to take them aside, talk to them, ask them what's going on. If they really are struggling, maybe you're looking for someone else on the team to step up and help. You know, it's just whatever needs to happen to get the job done.
You had that experience, and you've had to step aside and help somebody? Because remember, your job and my job in this world, and your job on the team, is to reach out and lift other people up. That's your job.
Yeah.
How do you do that, Lydon?
Just not getting down on anyone if they mess up, especially younger guys, kind of teaching them, helping them. If they mess up with a drill or mess up with their footwork or something, just kind of talking to them and like showing them how to do it, not being like so down and like yell at them or something like that.
Lydon, your brothers have been on. Your brother has been on the show, Emery. I just enjoy him, and I see him playing at Viterbo, and he's a quality guy too. Does that? Do you ever think, well, geez, I got to live up to my brother's reputation?
Not really. I mean, in basketball, certainly, because he was a very good basketball player, but not so much with everything else. I'm my own person. He's his own person. We both have different qualities with each other, so it's just more of a, I look up to him for some things, and that's kind of the way I look at it.
Good. And, of course, we're very familiar with Isaiah on the basketball court. I'm familiar with Bennett, an exceptional player at Luther, had a great career. Now he's at Stout, your sister at Martin Luther College. So particularly with Bennett, who also has great size and skill, you played with him, and was that a sibling rivalry?
I wouldn't say a sibling rivalry. I really enjoyed that experience. You know, he was my go-to to get my assists for the game. You know, I love being able to pass into the post. Also, you know, talking to Lyndon about living up to something. You know, with football, Bennett was the same way, where he didn't really play football, and then I feel like this is my own thing that I can have, and it's mine, and I enjoy it.
You created your own identity. You three-sport athlete. Favorite?
Probably the one that I'm playing.
Okay, so when we have you on during basketball season,
Yep.
that'll probably be the one.
Yeah.
When we have you on a track season, that'll be
Yep.
the one.
Sure.
All right. You're a scholar athlete. Is it 7 times? Did I just see that?
Yeah, I played a lot of varsity seasons, so.
Oh my goodness! Basketball, all conference, student council. You're kind of a parent's dream. Is that correct?
I don't know about that, but you know, I'm trying my hardest and working hard at grades because I know that's important.
Oh, of course, and the same thing with Lyndon. Are you a parent's dream too, or what? Or you're not a nightmare, I hope?
No, not a nightmare, no.
You're a dream.
Yeah.
Good. And football, basketball?
I mean, it's a really hard, I would say the one I'm playing at the moment, but football is definitely a little bit higher on there because I just get to use everything I have and just kind of show my heart on the field.
Everybody has role models. People have inspired us when we were young, maybe currently. Who's your role model?
Probably my dad is my biggest role model, just his work ethic and how hard he works at his job and just everything he does for our family is just amazing.
Good to hear. I can see why. And Isaiah, too, something tells me that there's some similarity there.
Sure, yeah. My dad, definitely a huge role model for me, showing hard work and then humility. Also, you know, my brother setting a path for me, showing me what success is like and how to work for it.
Hard to have your dad as a coach?
I think he pushes me hard, but it's good for me and it helps me improve.
I can see the humility in his personality.
Certainly.
Isaiah Loersch, you are on to college next year after you graduate in May of 2021.
Yep. I'm thinking Martin Luther College right now for elementary education.
Good. Maybe a PE teacher, health teacher?
Yeah, I was thinking about, I'm not quite sure yet, but minoring in coaching, so hopefully I can continue with that.
So if you need some help with the criminal justice system, you can look to the guy on your right if he uses what he maybe plans to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's an option at this point. I mean, I'm still keeping it open, just kind of seeing what I'm wanting to get into at this point, but it's definitely always been in my head about being a police officer in that kind of field.
Who planted that seed?
I couldn't tell you. I just always, I don't know, looked at them as just like something I would like to do and just protect and serve and just...
Good for you. We need quality people. Well, the majority of them are quality. And it's just unfortunate, some of them, just like in any other part of the careers or world, you know, and unfortunately the media plays up, you know, the bad ones and so on, but you'd be a great asset, no doubt about it. Do you have a favorite Bible verse?
Me?
Lyndon?
One that really resonates with me is probably John 3:16, because it's also my dad's favorite and he always used to say it to us and kind of always have been in my head just every single day. Just I always just kind of think back to it and just think about it and like how blessed we are to be here and just everything.
Thankfulness, certainly a big part of biblical scripture in a lot of different aspects. And Isaiah, you have a favorite Bible verse too.
Yeah, Romans 28 verse 8 really is just a great comfort for me, knowing that whatever the situation, God is working for my good, and that offers great comfort to me.
Good. Philosophy of life for you. Have you developed one, Isaiah?
I mean, being young, obviously still working on that a little bit, but working hard and keeping your faith life as number one is definitely one of my philosophies.
Working hard is really who you are. What's something that our viewers may not know about Isaiah Loersch?
When I was younger, I learned to play the trumpet, the piano, and the tuba.
Whoa, have you taken that, kept up with that in high school?
Well, unfortunately, because of scheduling, I had to drop band, but I could still play a little bit. So.
Good for you. Well, if you come back on the show, would you be able to demonstrate some of those skills?
I don't know if you want me to do
during the winter, or would that just maybe not be the best thing to promote the show?
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, Lydon, too, you have a philosophy, and you shared it before, work hard for the glory of God, which is, by the way, one of the scriptures readings and Bible verses on the wall in your gymnasium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that every time I go in there. What's something people don't know about Lydon Byus?
Well, I just really like to fish. I'm a big outdoors guy. I like to boat, a longboard every once in a while, and I'm just kind of always liking to be outside.
You like a free-spirited guy?
I don't know about going that far, but kind of just like...
Quasi free spirit. How about, you ever heard this saying, many people fish their entire life, but they don't realize that fish is not what they're after.
No, never.
What are they after? Peace, reflection, all those. Would you say that, does that describe you two, or are you after actual fish?
No, I'm after the fish.
Well, you've had some defining moments in your life too, in your young life. What would that be for you, Lydon?
Defining moments, like sports-wise,
Yeah,
or
it
like...
could be. Well, would one of them be player of the game on K2EG last Friday night? Well, what would be? Okay, that's number one, right? Mm-hmm. What's number two?
Probably winning the regional championship last year for basketball. That was really big and just kind of was a huge thing because it's just the biggest and furthest we've gone in a while with basketball, and just helped to push me even harder.
Brad Shopper says a lot of good things about both of you, and one of your disappointments too in your profile has to do with the way basketball ended last March, Isaiah.
Yeah, that was certainly tough, with our success going to #1 seed Durand and, running them out of the gym. But when we heard the news, that playoffs is canceled, it was tough, but then you kind of had to put it in perspective for what was happening to other people, where really this isn't such a big deal.
Yeah, but at the time you're young. I mean, come on. You look at it a little bit differently when you're young than when you get older, but you guys are wise beyond your years, and that's why you are our guests on Seven Rivers. But we don't just have anybody on the show, We look for quality student athletes in a variety of ways. He's Isaiah Loersch, and he is Lydon Byus, and thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts and some highlights right after this.
The thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Well, this is a tough week for the Erickson family with the unexpected passing of Scott. As many of you know, Scott Erickson was a broadcaster with Mike Kearns on WKTY radio. Along with Mike, Scott broadcast thousands of games throughout his career, high school and college. His death has left a huge void in our family. We are heartbroken as Scott touched the lives of thousands of people throughout the greater La Crosse area. His kindness and humility stood out among any other characteristic, and we will miss him greatly. Our crew was in Mauston on Friday night. 2 undefeated teams, the Aquinas Blue Gulls and the Mauston Golden Eagles. Junior halfback Joe Penchie got things going in the first quarter on a 10-yard run, followed by a Will Cambio conversion, just like that, 8-0 Blue Gulls. Then Will Cambio on a 6-yard TD run, 14-0 after 1. 2 touchdowns in the second quarter with a spectacular 57-yard run by Penchie and another Cambio TD from 7 yards out, 28-0 at intermission. Teams exchanged touchdowns in the third as Mauston's Craig Armstrong found pay dirt from 17 yards out, followed by a 2-point conversion, quarterback Spencer Lehman to senior wide receiver Jack Lumen. Aquinas answered on the next possession with Will Cambio scoring from 1 yard out. Calvin Hargrove on the conversion, 36-8 after 3. 2 TDs by Mauston in the fourth. The Lehman to Lumen combination both times ended the scoring. Our players for the game for Aquinas, senior linebacker Aiden Lee and senior running back Will Cambio. For the 2-1 Golden Eagles, wide receiver Jack Lumen, Craig Armstrong, and junior quarterback Spencer Lehman. Aquinas takes its 3-0 record to Westby on Friday night. Next week, we'll profile Luther High School tennis with seniors Cassie Warren and Sarah Hoff. Until then, I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.